Hey Loot Now crew, what's good? Today we are going to review the upcoming new PC games. Without further ado, let's get down to it. Welcome to Cats and Cups, a heartwarming barista simulator where every customer is a whiskered friend. From the moment you open the door, the hand-drawn cafe feels like a warm hug, soft colors, cozy lighting, and the gentle hum of an espresso machine. You'll be pouring lattes, teas, and specialty drinks that each come with a minigame twist, turning every order into a playful challenge that keeps you engaged. The real charm, however, lies in the cats. Kittens, retired adventurers, bookish tabbies, and more all stroll in, each with a unique personality and backstory. As you learn their preferences, you'll unlock heartwarming narratives that make the cafe feel like a living, breathing community. Customization is a delight. Decorate with quirky furniture, light up the space, and expand your menu as your feline clientele grows. The game's pacing is relaxed, perfect for a cozy escape, but the depth of the minigames and the richness of the stories give it a satisfying bite. If you're looking for a sweet blend of crafting, storytelling, and adorable companionship, Cats and Cups is your next cozy escape. It's a perfectly crafted experience that will leave you wanting to stay a little longer. BioGoddess drops you straight into a high school apocalypse, but not the usual horror school mashup. You play as a teen trying to survive a biological crisis while uncovering a family mystery. The third-person shooter feels tight, every shot counts, and the gun upgrade system rewards clever resource gathering. What really sets it apart is the uniform mechanic. Swapping between international school outfits unlocks unique abilities, turning a simple schoolgirl into a tactical asset. The enemy roster is oddly charming, seductive foes that hide deadly intent and grotesque monsters that keep you on edge. Puzzles pepper the campus, forcing you to hunt for keys and crack codes before the next wave arrives. Visually, the game leans into a cute, anime-style aesthetic that clashes delightfully with the gore. Though still a work in progress, BioGoddess shows promise, tight combat, inventive gear swaps, and a narrative hook that keeps you wondering what's behind your father's silence. If you're into indie shooters with a schoolyard twist, this one's worth the early look. Picture yourself in the heart of a bustling fantasy town, a tiny wooden tavern on your doorstep, and the weight of the world on your shoulders. Tavern Keeper throws you into that role, and you're not just opening a door, you're opening a living, breathing ecosystem. The core is simple: build your haven, hire a quirky crew, stock the shelves, and keep the locals coming. But the real magic happens when the chaos starts. One broken lantern, a heat-rising floor, a line of impatient patrons, and suddenly you're fighting a blaze while a sleepsick bartender can't even lift a mug. Every decision ripples, and the emergent situations feel fresh, unpredictable, and sometimes downright hilarious. The narrative is a sprawling tapestry of quests that follows you from one town to another. Each new locale introduces its own flavor: an immortal elemental, a halfling philosopher, or a mad orc inventor. The dialogue, narrated by Stephen Pacey, is witty, charming, and gives the world a real heartbeat. What sets this game apart is its creative freedom. The design mode lets you place thousands of items wherever you like, turning your tavern into anything from a cozy reading nook to a neon-lit speakeasy. The item workshop pushes that further, mix materials, add enchantments, and share your unique furniture with the community. It's a sandbox within a sandbox. And because it's an indie gem, the developers have poured love into every pixel. Adjustable difficulty lets you play a hardcore strategy game or a relaxed, let's just enjoy the night experience. Free play offers endless replayability with custom challenges. Sure, the depth can feel a bit overwhelming at first, and the UI is a learning curve. But once you get the hang of it, the satisfaction of seeing your tavern thrive is unmatched. Tavern Keeper isn't just a management sim, it's a heartfelt ode to the art of running a place where stories happen. So grab your mug, light a lantern, and let the adventure begin. Hey listeners, strap in because today we are tearing into Devil Jam, a roguelite that drops you straight into the throbbing heart of hell for a music-driven survival showdown. Picture this: you sign a cursed contract with the devil, get dragged to the underworld, and suddenly you're the hottest act the afterlife has ever seen. Armed with possessed instruments that auto-attack to the beat, you've got to fend off endless waves of deranged fans, vicious mobs, and even rival metal icons who are all trying to steal your spotlight. What sets Devil Jam apart is its 12-slot inventory system. Every slot is a strategic choice, and positioning is everything. Synergies can turn a single run into a full-blown jam session. The hand-drawn hellscapes bring the underworld to life, with stylized characters and explosive effects that feel like a live concert in a fiery arena. And if you thought that was all, the bosses will test your skill. From twisted fans to the ultimate metal singer, Death himself, you'll need to master the rhythm and survive the chaos to claim your place as the greatest metal icon. Fast-paced runs keep you on the edge of your seat, blending relentless combat with the pulse of heavy metal. If you're ready to mash your riffs against the damned, Devil Jam is the show you can't afford to miss. Cursemark throws you into a bleak, sprawling world where every corner hides a secret or a relic. From the first moment you step onto the unknown lands, the sense of mystery is palpable, shadows shift, ruins whisper, and the air crackles with untapped power. The game's core is a blend of ARPG action and roguelite progression. As you carve your path, you unlock a massive arsenal of skills, each one begging to be reshaped. Insert a rune into a fireball and watch it splatter into icy shards, or turn a gas cloud into a lightning storm that strikes from the sky. The rune system is a sandbox, letting you build a playstyle as unique as your character. Combat keeps you on your toes. Enemies range from swarming swine to towering bosses that demand strategy and reflexes alike. The world itself rewards persistence, new shortcuts, hidden passages, and evolving lore unfold with every run. In short, Cursemark is a deep, dynamic experience that feels fresh every time you dive back in, blending dark atmosphere, inventive customization, and relentless action into one compelling package. Europa Universalis V is the kind of grand strategy masterpiece that turns history into a living, breathing sandbox. From the late Middle Ages to the Age of Revolution, you're handed a continent to shape, 1,000 nations to command, and a web of diplomacy that feels as tense as any real-world negotiation. The depth is staggering. Every province now shows its culture and religion, so you can't just march armies. You must keep your people content or risk rebellion. Economics have been overhauled too. A richer trade network means you can build a maritime empire or a landlocked powerhouse, and the new logistics system forces you to think about supply lines, not just battlefield tactics. Military upgrades let you evolve from levies to standing armies, and commanders feel like real personalities, not just numbers on a screen. What really shines is the alternate history freedom. One decision can rewrite the fate of empires, letting you ask, what if England had conquered the continent? Or what if the Yuan dynasty had never fallen? Every playthrough feels fresh, and the sheer scale of the map keeps you engaged for hours on end. If you crave a game where strategy, politics, and history collide, this is the one to try. Welcome to the bloodstained night of 7 days Blood Moons, where 4 survivors fight one unstoppable hive. From the first click, you're thrust into a frantic mix of FPS, survival horror, RTS, and tower defense. It's a hard-knock, adrenaline-packed experience that keeps you guessing whether you're building barricades or summoning the undead. On the survivor side, the game rewards scavenging and crafting. You scavenge for ammo, health kits, and rare resources, then bolt them into a voxel world that feels both brutal and playable. Every night you reinforce a base, lay traps, and coordinate with teammates to hold the line until dawn. The progression system is generous. Unlock weapons, perks, and custom gear that feel genuinely impactful. Flip the script and become the zombie hive master. From a high-altitude command view, you plot the survivor's base, call in hordes, and even possess individual zombies in third person. The strategic layer is surprisingly deep. You can harvest remains to unlock new minions, each with unique abilities that can turn a siege on its head. The contrast between the two roles is the game's biggest selling point, and it delivers on both fronts. In short, 7 Days Blood Moons is a chaotic, genre-blending party that rewards teamwork, clever building, and ruthless strategy. Whether you're a survivor fighting for the last slice of humanity or a hive master crushing all hope, the Blood Moon never disappoints. Master Lemon throws you into a pixel-perfect world where a memory-devouring plague threatens to erase entire languages from existence. You play Lemon, a tribute to the late Andre Lima, as he travels to Bashir's Islands, gathering words from more than 25 real-world languages to solve puzzles and restore lost cultures. The art is charmingly nostalgic, each level bursting with vibrant colors that feel like a living scrapbook of global folklore. The puzzles are clever, forcing you to think in new linguistic ways. Every word you collect not only unlocks a door, but rewrites the environment around you. Beyond the mechanics, the game feels like a heartfelt ode to friendship and the power of language. It's a gentle reminder that even in a world where memory can be stolen, the bonds we share and the words we speak can keep the past alive. If you're looking for a thoughtful, beautifully crafted adventure that rewards curiosity, Master Lemon delivers in spades. Biped 2 lands with a bang, taking the quirky charm of the original and blasting it into a full-blown, galaxy-wide adventure. The twin robots, Aku and Sela, still team up like a dynamic duo, but now they've got new moves to keep things fresh. Glide through skies on a hang glider, yank yourself up with a grappling hook, or slide across slick surfaces. Every movement feels polished and purposeful. What really shines is the pair mechanics. You can switch between legs and arms on the fly, solving puzzles that require both robots to act as one. It's a clever twist that rewards teamwork and keeps the Coop experience sharp. Whether you're playing solo, with a friend, or in a 4-player squad that just makes the hardest levels feel like a party. The new worlds are gorgeous, each planet bursting with color and sound that make exploration feel like a treat. And the game doesn't stop at its core story. You can deck out your bipeds with quirky hats and custom outfits, or dive into the Steam Workshop to build and share your own levels. That last part keeps the replay value soaring. All in all, Biped 2 delivers on its promise of a fun, cooperative adventure with a generous dose of creative freedom. It's a worthy sequel that expands the original's charm without losing its heart. If you love the first game, you'll find plenty to love here, and if you're new, it's a great entry point into this delightful robot world. Welcome to the world of Ages of Cateria, a charming story generation game that feels like a warm, living scrapbook. You start with a small family, set off into a lush new land, and watch as they build homes, farms, and a community that grows right before your eyes. The real magic happens when the villagers age, parents become grandparents, lovers start their own families, and each generation leaves a unique imprint on the town. As the settlement expands, so do its needs. You'll be tasked with ensuring enough shelter, food, and resources for everyone, while also adding decorative touches that catch the eye of both villagers and visitors. The game rewards thoughtful planning. A well-placed garden or a cozy inn can change the mood of the entire town. Random events keep life unpredictable. From stumbling upon a rare insect to arranging a heartfelt marriage, these moments add depth and surprise. And when a villager passes, their spirit joins a growing tree in the town square, a beautiful reminder that every life contributes to the story's tapestry. Ages of Cateria blends gentle simulation with a heartfelt narrative, creating a nostalgic, immersive experience that feels both comforting and endlessly engaging. If you love watching communities thrive and stories unfold over time, this is the game for you. If you're craving that old-school board game feel with a digital twist, Dark Quest IV is the ticket. It throws you into a world of dank dungeons, deadly traps, and a relentless dark sorcerer who's been stalking the night for too long. From the start, the game feels like a living, breathing board game. Every turn you plan, every move counts. The core is solid. 30 handcrafted quests that test your tactical mind. Over 40 monsters, each with unique moves, keep you on your toes. And the traps aren't just gimmicks, they're brutal puzzles that force you to think before you act. You'll build a squad of up to 10 heroes, each with distinct stats and powers. The hero camp is a nice touch. Training your heroes, unlocking new cards, and shaping a team that fits your playstyle makes the grind feel worthwhile. Multiplayer is a real highlight. Whether you're fighting side by side on the couch or online, combining hero strengths turns a solo grind into a strategic party. And for the creators out there, the quest building mode is surprisingly robust. Craft your own dungeons and let the community play them back. The only real hiccup is the pacing. Some quests feel a bit slow, but that's offset by the depth of strategy. Overall, Dark Quest IV is a nostalgic, tactical feast that delivers both on single-player depth and cooperative fun. If you love turn-based strategy and a good dungeon crawl, this is one you'll want to lead your heroes through.
I curse you!
The Fable manga build roguelike blends pixel art action with a mind-bending puzzle mechanic. Each turn you're handed fresh manga panels, and you must lay them out like a comic page to orchestrate your attacks. Think of it as a tactical card game where every panel is a move. Place them wisely, avoid the holes that represent damage, and defeat the enemy before the turn limit runs out. 3 distinct heroes give the game flavor. Akira, a hitman who switches between guns and melee. Yoko, a mobile strategist who outsmarts foes. And Suzuki, a cold-blooded trapmaster. Each brings a unique play style that keeps the battles fresh. Between the frantic combat, quirky minigames reward high scores with powerful new panels. For those craving a challenge, puzzle mode forces you to finish an entire fight in a single page. Devs admit it can take days to crack. And don't forget Yuki, the playboy bartender, who throws a drinking duel at Yoko. His antics add a dash of humor to this already engaging roguelike. Unbeatable throws you straight into an anim-packed rhythm adventure where the stage is both a battlefield and a dance floor. The core mechanic is deceptively simple. 2 buttons for up and down. Mastery comes from timing those inputs perfectly while keeping your character alive in a world that's as chaotic as it is melodic. You'll find yourself swinging fists at cops, solving odd quests, and grooving through massive set pieces that test both your reflexes and your sense of rhythm. The story mode feels like a full-length anime episode, 6 to 8 hours of narrative that pairs humor, heart, and plenty of unexpected twists. Then there's the arcade mode, which essentially becomes a separate game. It's a grind and play playground with a progression system, online leaderboards, and a challenge board that ranges from beat a song on easy to more elaborate, tongue-in-cheek tasks. Unlocking songs through either route gives you a double album of original tracks, acoustic takes, and remixes, all perfectly synced to the gameplay. Visually, the game embraces a vibrant, stylized aesthetic that never feels overdone. The animations are tight, the character designs pop, and the stage designs shift with each beat, keeping you glued to the screen. Sound-wise, the soundtrack is the heartbeat of Unbeatable. Each track feels like a new showstopper, and the rhythmic cues are clear enough to let you feel the music even when you're fighting off the law. If you're into rhythm games that push the envelope, this title turns a simple button combo into an unforgettable, head-banging experience. Of Ash and Steel drops you into a sprawling, handcrafted island that feels both nostalgic and fresh. The game strips away the marker-driven guidance of many modern titles, forcing you to rely on curiosity and observation to uncover its secrets. Every corner feels alive, from the mist-shrouded cliffs to the bustling market streets, and the world rewards exploration with loot, lore, and unexpected encounters. Combat is where the game truly shines. You can swing a rapier with lightning speed, brace a heavy shield and unleash a crushing charge, or craft a hybrid style that feels entirely your own. The stance system is deep, letting you adapt on the fly to different enemies and environments. Each skill feels purposeful, and the flow of a battle never stalls. Narratively, the story is simple yet compelling. A protagonist who has lost everything must rise, forge alliances, and shape the fate of the Kingdom of the Seven. The writing is tight, the dialogue crisp, and the stakes feel personal. You'll find yourself invested in the island's destiny long after you've finished the main quest. If you crave a third-person RPG that respects classic roots while offering modern depth, Of Ash and Steel will keep you wandering, fighting, and discovering for hours on end. It's a reminder that sometimes the best adventures happen when you're left to find your own path. Welcome to the world of Whiskerwood, where the tiniest of heroes rise to build sprawling cities on islands that never stop shaking. From the first click, you're thrust into a frantic balancing act. Keep your mice fed, warm, and happy while satisfying the ever-hungry cat overlords. The core gameplay shines with its verticality, stacking towers, carving tunnels, and digging into mountains to squeeze every inch of space. It's a delight to watch your colony grow from a humble dock to a steam-powered metropolis, especially when you unleash those slick conveyor belts and hydraulic elevators that keep goods moving faster than a mouse can run. The city-building mechanics are deep but intuitive. Assign guilds, tweak traits, and watch your workforce adapt to the climate. Speaking of climate, the weather system adds a satisfying layer of strategy. Plant wheat in bright valleys, mushrooms in damp caverns, or engineer a heat pipe network to keep your stockpiles safe from winter's bite. It's this attention to detail that turns simple resource collection into a nuanced simulation. But Whiskerwood isn't just a sandbox. The cat demands are relentless, and ignoring them can mean your mice abandon the colony. You're forced to decide. Erect statues of the feline overlords to boost output, or build parks to keep morale high. That tension keeps the game fresh. On the downside, the learning curve can be steep. New players might feel overwhelmed by the sheer number of systems, 40 commodities, multiple research paths, and intricate plumbing. A clearer tutorial would help. All in all, Whiskerwood is a charming, mechanically rich city builder that rewards patience and strategic thinking. If you enjoy a good sandbox with a humorous twist and a relentless boss at the top, this is the game for you. The Last Caretaker pulls you into a world where the ocean has swallowed Earth and only rusted megastructures remain. From the start, you feel the weight of its mission: secure humanity's future by salvaging technology, crafting tools, and protecting fragile human seeds. The game balances survival mechanics with a deep narrative that rewards exploration and decision-making. Crafting feels tangible. Every scrap of metal you scavenge turns into a weapon or a vital piece of the Lazarus complex. The system for nurturing seeds is surprisingly nuanced. Managing temperature, nutrients, and memory data adds a layer of strategy that keeps you invested in each tiny life you revive. Combat and defense are another strong point. Rogue machines and environmental threats force you to build automated defenses and upgrade your mobile platform, turning each encounter into a tense puzzle rather than a simple shoot-'em-up. The stakes rise when you start restoring the ancient Moses launch infrastructure. The risk of each rocket launch is palpable, and watching your revived humans ascend into orbit feels like a payoff that deserves attention. Visually, the game is a work of art. The ocean world is bleak yet beautiful, with towering rusted structures and a sky that hints at something larger beyond. Sound design complements the mood, though sometimes the music can feel repetitive. Overall, The Last Caretaker is a thoughtful, immersive experience that rewards patience and curiosity. It's a game that doesn't just ask you to survive. It asks you to remember why you're fighting for survival. If you're looking for a narrative-driven survival adventure with a touch of spaceflight ambition, this one deserves a spot on your list. It's been over 20 years since the original Siberia first captured our imaginations, and now that iconic adventure has been reborn in full HD glory. From the moment you launch the game, the visual overhaul feels like stepping into a fresh, cinematic painting. Every snow-clad mountain, cobblestone street, and rusted factory is rendered with a level of detail that makes the world feel both alive and intimately personal. The core of Siberia has always been its storytelling, and the remaster keeps that heartbeat strong. Kate Walker, a New York lawyer with a sharp mind and a heart of gold, finds herself in a remote alpine village, tasked with finalizing a factory sale. What starts as a routine assignment spirals into a sweeping odyssey across Eastern Europe, and the game never lets you forget that Kate's trusty automaton companion, Oscar, is more than just a sidekick. He's a character in his own right, with quirks that add humor and depth. The narrative follows Hans Vorarlberg's madcap quest to locate the last living mammoths on the mythical island of Siberia. The plot is layered, with eccentric characters, hidden lore, and emotional turns that keep you invested. The dialogue feels sharp and true, a testament to Benoit Sokol's original vision. Gameplay has been refined without losing the puzzle-heavy charm that defined the series. New mechanics feel organic, and the pacing balances exploration with story beats perfectly. The remaster doesn't just polish the old. It breathes new life into every scene, making the journey feel fresh yet nostalgic. In short, the remastered Siberia delivers on its promise: stunning visuals, enriched gameplay, and a story that pulls you through a snowbound adventure you won't soon forget. If you've ever dreamed of stepping into a world where every corner feels like a fresh, pulsing challenge, this is the game that's going to hook you. You're transported to the evil god's realm, blessed with immortality, and tasked with saving your home planet. The first portal plunges you deeper into a dark, monster-laden landscape where you hunt down the ultimate deity. The second opens up massive maps for survival mode, where you and your squad must hold the line against endless waves of invaders. What keeps the adrenaline pumping is the chain hook. It's not just a movement tool. It lets you swing into finishers, pull enemies close, and uncover hidden loot. Every boss you smash drops a soul that ramps up difficulty, but unlocks new weapons, perks, and even more terrifying foes. And don't forget the companions you rescue along the way. They're not just cuteness. They add real tactical depth to your builds. The loot is generous, the upgrade system deep, and the Coop experience is genuinely satisfying. Coordinating your builds and sharing loot feels almost like a dance. If you're looking for a game that blends relentless combat, strategic progression, and a little bit of cosmic humor, this one delivers. Grab a controller, grab a friend, and get ready to make the evil gods regret ever crossing your path.
The week we had,
Picture yourself stepping into Scapia, a comic book-styled first-person shooter that feels like a living, breathing comic page. The city is in chaos, its streets crawling with mutated abominations that bite at every corner. You're not just fighting a wave, you're navigating an ever-shifting metropolis where each death rewrites the map. Enemies pop up in new spots, loot changes, and the path you take will dictate the challenges ahead. What sets Scapia apart is the mobile base, a battered bus you call a DOM. It's your workshop, your safe haven, and your transport. Upgrade your gear, swap blueprints that carry over between runs, and drive that bus through the twisted alleys of an alternate history Balkan that feels oddly retrofuturistic. The environmental storytelling is subtle but compelling. Every graffiti tag, every flickering billboard hints at occult deals and forgotten science that make the city feel alive. The roguelite elements keep the tension high. You're always at the brink, knowing that the next run could mean a brand new set of enemies or a fresh supply of resources. The pacing is relentless, but the sense of progression, seeing your arsenal grow and your base expand, keeps you hooked. Scapia is a fresh take on the genre, blending fast-paced combat with a world that genuinely changes around you. If you're craving a shooter that feels like a comic book adventure and a sandbox that rewards exploration, this is the game that will keep you on the edge of your seat, one run at a time. From the moment you strap on the headset, you're thrust into the heart of interstellar war. The game puts you at the helm of a fleet, not just from a distant command console, but right in the middle of the action, giving you that visceral feel of a ship's bridge in VR. Every decision, whether you're flanking a convoy, weaving through asteroid fields, or locking onto a rival flagship, has to be made on the fly, and the engine rewards sharp tactics with brutal precision. The open world mode lets you wander a procedurally generated galaxy, mining ore, trading goods, and hunting pirates. It's a sandbox that still feels purposeful because every choice shapes your standing. Then there's the Combat Gauntlet, a relentless series of escalating battles that test endurance and strategy. One wrong move and you've lost a precious ship. Conquest mode turns the map into a living war zone where your fleet keeps fighting even when you're offline, making every raid and fortification feel meaningful. The variety of ships, from nimble corvettes to hulking battleships, combined with a roster of captains each with unique tactical flair, keeps combat fresh. The game is polished, the visuals pop in VR, and the depth of strategy feels both immediate and rewarding. If you're craving a space strategy that makes you feel like the real commander, this title is a stellar choice. Welcome to the Heart of Darkness. In Into Evil, you're not just a hero, you're a reluctant pilgrim, slipping into the endless, shifting tower of the corrupted. Every night the tower reshapes itself, traps rewired, and the monsters that stalk its corridors become new, terrifying threats. What sets this one apart is its item system. Forget stat farms. Each sword can parry, each axe cleave, each lantern glows even when stowed. Weapons and armor grant abilities, not points, and each one can be enchanted or cursed, turning a simple dagger into a fire-spewing blade or a shield into a living wall. The choices you make on the way out, what you carry, what you leave, affect the next descent, and every death rewrites the map. The game rewards learning. You'll face demons that wield supernatural powers and heroes turned traitors, all vying for control of the tower. There's no shortcut. You must adapt or die brutally. The atmosphere is oppressive, the music a low, grinding hum that never lets you forget you're being hunted. If you've ever wanted a dungeon crawl that feels truly alive, that punishes predictability and rewards creativity. Into Evil is the game that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Dive in, steel yourself, and descend. The deeper you go, the more you'll realize that every choice matters, because in this tower, there's no return. B takes you on a dreamlike ride across a world that feels both oddly familiar and unsettlingly strange. As a pizza delivery rider on her final order, you glide on a Vespa through shifting landscapes that blur the line between reality and imagination. The game's strength lies in its meditative exploration. There's no rush, just a steady flow of beautiful, liminal scenes that invite you to pause and breathe. Narratively, B is a quiet, thoughtful protagonist, and the story unfolds through scattered objects and conversations with quirky inhabitants. Each character you meet carries a dream or regret, and sharing a slice of pizza with them reveals why they're stuck in this liminal space. It's a gentle, character-driven experience that feels like a conversation rather than a linear quest. Puzzle solving is woven into the flow, using levers, clay stars, and conveyor belts to deliver the pizza and unlock new paths. The choices feel meaningful, but you're never pressured to decide, just another layer of immersion. Overall, B is a short, contemplative journey that rewards slow pacing and curiosity. It's a niche gem for players who enjoy atmospheric storytelling, charming characters, and a world that feels like a living dream. Hypogea whisks you into a forgotten underground megastructure where every corridor feels like a breathless secret. You play as a staff-wielding automaton, and the hooked staff is your lifeline. Pull a vault, swing, climb, and even catch yourself midair. The level design is tight, forcing you to think on your feet while the atmosphere thins with each step deeper into the cavernous halls. The visuals pay homage to early 2000s titles, but with a modern polish that makes the shadows feel alive. Lighting and color work together to create a sense of dread and wonder, and the soundtrack, minimal, echoing, almost like the hum of the abandoned machinery, keeps you anchored to the world. What sets Hypogea apart is its wordless storytelling. You piece together the narrative by observing environmental clues and the subtle actions of other automaton inhabitants. It's a quiet, cinematic experience that rewards curiosity. If you enjoy atmospheric platformers that blend tight controls with a haunting, immersive world, Hypogea delivers a compact, unforgettable run that lingers long after you've escaped the megastructure.
This planet has a harsh way of
Welcome back to the Red Planet, and this time it's a whole new frontier. Surviving Mars, Relaunched takes the award-winning city builder and spruces it up with crisp, upgraded graphics and a slick UI that feels fresh for both veterans and new commanders. Every expansion, Space Race, Green Planet, Project Laika, has been reworked and polished, so you get the full breadth of content in one package. The core loop of harvesting resources, building domes, and keeping the power grid humming remains solid, but the new Martian assembly adds a weighty endgame. Crafting laws, balancing colonist needs, and steering your settlement toward independence from Earth turns simple survival into a political strategy. And with rival sponsors firing up the space race, you'll feel the pressure of competing colonies racing to outbuild you. Terraforming now has a tangible goal. Green Planet lets you transform the barren landscape, while Project Laika invites you to welcome wildlife into your colonies, an unexpected but delightful twist. The research tree still rewards careful planning, unlocking everything from advanced production to hidden secrets below the surface. If you love deep management and a sense of progress, this relaunch is a must-play. It's polished, expansive, and keeps the promise of turning Mars from a hostile outpost into a thriving, self-sustaining world. Mars is waiting. Are you ready to claim it?
Surviving Mars.
Ever wonder what happens when a roguelike deck builder meets a tabletop board game? Into the Grid delivers the answer in a way that feels like a living, breathing cyberpunk strategy. From the moment you flip your first card, the game throws you into a world where every play feels like a calculated hack. The dual resource system is genius. Cards not only unleash effects, but also generate virtual memory, or VIM, giving you a lifeline when your hand feels like a bad hand. Use that VIM to fire off commands, those powerful, unlockable skills that can swing a battle from a stalemate to a knockout. It's a sweet spot of deck-building tension and tactical map exploration. The map itself is an infinite digital landscape, full of loot and traps. You're constantly forced to weigh choices. Do you fight now or wait for a better hand? Do you cash in a reward or hold out for a bigger payoff? The game makes every decision feel consequential, and that's what keeps you glued to your screen. The repo is your arsenal. Program cards are your weapons. Upgrade, scrap, and combine them to discover unique synergies that feel like true hacking. And if that wasn't enough, you can tweak your console with hardware mods and perks, turning the game into a personal playstyle playground. 4 distinct characters bring their own stories and mechanics, each offering a different flavor of the same core experience. Into the Grid isn't just a gimmick, it's a polished, deep strategy that rewards both card-playing skill and battlefield foresight. If you love deck builders that push the envelope and tabletop games that demand smart decisions, this is the next step in the evolution of the genre. Welcome to Dragonhold, the latest entry in the action-adventure genre that puts you in the wings of a colossal dragon. From the first moment you take flight, the game rewards you with a truly immersive Skyborn experience, soaring over lush, enchanted landscapes while your dragon roars and unleashes a blazing arsenal of fire and elemental attacks. The combat is fluid and frantic, whether you're battling towering world-class bosses on the dragon's back or charging into melee on foot. The world feels alive too. Explore the ruined realm of Azarkeen, gather ancient artifacts, and rebuild the crumbling Dragonhold. Every resource you collect unlocks new weapons, armor, and magical abilities that deepen the sense of progression. And if you're craving variety, the multiplayer mode lets you team up with other Dragon Riders to tackle epic coup challenges, adding a strategic layer that keeps the action fresh. Visually, the game is a feast. Vibrant skies, detailed environments, and a spectacular visual style that makes every blaze and spell pop. The soundtrack swells with epic orchestration, perfectly matching the high-stakes battles. Dragonhold delivers on its promise of high-speed chases, intense duels, and a story that invites you to become a legend. If you love soaring through the clouds with a fire-breathing companion, this is the game that will keep you glued to the screen. In a world where a single glance can end your life, the Curse of Faces throws you straight into the heart of survival. After 264 years of living in shadows, the first mask appears, offering a sliver of safety that feels both like a promise and a trap. From the moment you step into the game, the sense of dread is palpable. Every corner you turn could be your last. The visuals nail the bleak atmosphere, and the music swells in a way that makes your heart race even when you're just walking through a ruined city. Gameplay is a blend of stealth and exploration. You're constantly forced to decide whether to hide, reveal, or even use the curse to your advantage. That moral ambiguity keeps you thinking long after the credits roll. The combat feels raw, but sometimes the pacing lags when you're hunting down clues. Still, the world building is strong, and the lore is hinted at with just enough mystery to keep you hooked. In short, The Curse of Faces is a tense, atmospheric ride that challenges your wits and your conscience. If you like games that make you think as much as they make you jump, this one is worth your time. Welcome to Ambrosia Sky, a first-person immersive sim that feels less like a game and more like a haunting dream. From the moment you step back into the abandoned colony, the weight of your past hangs heavy. Had you stayed, the people you loved might still be alive. The world itself is a living, breathing ecosystem of hostile fungi that burn, electrocute, and trap you, each strain a puzzle waiting to be unraveled. What sets this title apart is the blend of exploration and meditative cleaning. Your chemical sprayer becomes a tool of survival and discovery. You study the fungi, harvest their fruit, and craft upgrades. Electric foam to reroute power, chemical agents to push through new paths. The zero-gravity anomalies add a thrilling layer of traversal, forcing you to think in 3 dimensions as you navigate unstable fields and hidden passages. But it's not just about fighting monsters. You're part of an enigmatic order of scientists chasing immortality, tasked with finding the victims of the contamination and performing rituals that peel back the mystery of the cluster. Every dead body you uncover is a story, a piece of a larger tragedy. Ambrosia Sky rewards patience, curiosity, and a willingness to confront the guilt that binds you to this forgotten place. If you're looking for a game that lingers long after you've finished, this is the one.
My death can mean something.
Hey, let's dig into this underground brawler that's got more chaos than a mole's got tunnels. Picture a fast-paced arena where you and up to 7 other moles go on a resource rush, blasting and sabotaging each other as you try to fill your cart with minerals. The maps are randomly generated, so every match feels fresh. You carve your own path, shape the battlefield, and watch your rivals try to snatch your haul. The game shines with its dynamic, destructible caves and a crazy mix of power-ups. Build a loadout that fits your playstyle, whether you're a gadget-savvy tinkerer or a straight-up demolitionist. The controls feel tight on every platform, and the full controller support makes it a true party staple. What's a bit rough? The pacing can feel frantic for some, and the chaotic PvP can leave you feeling a bit overwhelmed if you're new to the concept. But if you're into quick, high-energy matches that test both your digging and fighting skills, this is the perfect underground brawl to pull your friends together. Get ready to dig, blast, and outmine your rivals, because in this game, the underground is as wild as it gets. In Rue Valley, the clock runs on a loop that feels less like a glitch and more like a second life. You wake up every day in the same fog-shrouded town, but each reset gives you a fresh chance to tweak your choices, your personality, and even the way you talk to the locals. The game's charm lies in its characters, each one a mirror of your own doubts and hopes. One morning you might be a cold, calculating loner, the next, a drunken, talkative mess. Those shifts aren't just flavor, they literally alter the dialogue tree, turning a simple, "I'm fine" into a heartfelt confession or a comedic rant. The memory graph lets you track intentions and unlock new mindsets, so you can experiment with different timelines without feeling like you're stuck in a grind. Visually, Rue Valley is a moody, hand-drawn watercolor world that feels alive with every ripple of the river or flicker of a street lamp. The soundtrack, a blend of ambient piano and eerie synth, follows your looping heartbeats, tightening as you dig deeper into the town's secrets. Gameplay is a mix of exploration and quest-driven narrative. You'll find hidden clues, solve puzzles that tie into the time loop, and gradually uncover why the town is cursed. The stakes are high, but the game's pacing keeps you engaged. You're never waiting for a cutscene. Every decision propels you forward. If you love games that let you shape a character's identity and enjoy a story that rewards replayability, Rue Valley is a must-read. It's a bittersweet meditation on resilience, and it reminds us that sometimes the best way to break a loop is to keep trying, no matter how many times you're stuck in the same day.
Known for the Hyperlight series.
Possessor throws you into a neon-bleached, rain-slick megacity where every broken stair and collapsed skyscraper feels like a new battlefield. The game feels like a platform fighter that's been injected with a sci-fi horror pulse. You control Luca, the host, and Rem, her reluctant partner, and you have to learn to fight side by side or die trying. The city is fractured. Think abandoned aquariums turned into flooded labyrinths, streets riddled with secrets that reward exploration. Combat is razor-sharp. You're not just running and jumping. You're juggling combos in the air, chaining ground and aerial attacks, and then pulling out a new weapon that unlocks a whole new section of the map. Bosses aren't just big. They're puzzles that force you to think about positioning and timing. Every upgrade feels earned and expands the ways you can approach a level. Narrative-wise, it's a sprawling open world that rewards multiple playthroughs. You'll meet characters whose stories bleed into the city's dark past, and each choice nudges you closer to the truth behind the interdimensional catastrophes. The hand-drawn art against the gritty 3D backdrop gives the game a haunting beauty that's hard to ignore. In short, Possessor is a fast-paced, tightly polished platformer that blends frantic combat with a deep, emotionally resonant story. It demands skill, rewards curiosity, and keeps you glued to the screen as you navigate a world that's as fractured as the characters who inhabit it.
Luca will learn to wall run, smash floors.
Wall World 2 drops you back into the endless depths of the wall, but it's not just another mining roguelite. From the moment you launch your Robo-Spider, you're plunged into a world that feels alive, changing with every descent. The procedural mines are richer than ever, packed with new biomes that shift in color and danger, giving each run a fresh vibe. You'll find rare resources and ancient tech that feel like treasure, but the real thrill comes from deciding what to upgrade next. The combat has expanded beyond the simple tap and shoot of the first game. There's a full arsenal of weapons and abilities that let you tailor your playstyle, whether you want to shred monsters with a plasma cannon or outmaneuver them with a stealth cloak. Every encounter feels tense, especially when the wall's anomalies throw in unexpected twists, either buffing you or throwing a wrench in your plans. Between runs, the Sphere City feels like a proper hub. You can customize your exosuit, swap out parts for your battle station, and even meet quirky NPCs who offer side quests and lore. These upgrades aren't just cosmetic. They unlock new strategies and keep the core loop rewarding. The deeper you dig, the more you uncover about the wall's secrets, and that narrative payoff keeps you coming back. In short, Wall World 2 takes everything that made the first game great, tight mining, roguelite progression, and a mysterious world, and amplifies it with richer mechanics and a more dynamic environment. It's a solid, addictive experience that keeps you glued to your screen, hoping the next tunnel will reveal something even more surprising. Encaria has returned, and it feels like stepping back into a dream that's been polished for a new age. The remaster of Sacred 2, Fallen Angel throws you into a sprawling fantasy world where the once glorious Tenergy now fuels corruption and conflict. 6 heroes, each with distinct paths and combat styles, let you carve your own legend through hundreds of quests, treacherous dungeons, and a living open world that truly breathes. Combat feels snappier than the original, with tighter hit detection and a flow that rewards skillful combos. The UI has been modernized, making menus and inventories a breeze, while full controller support means you can play with the same ease as a modern console title. Every expansion and update is bundled, so you get the full experience without hunting for add-ons. Graphics get a boost too, enhanced textures, better lighting, and extended view distance give the world a richer feel without compromising performance. Community-driven fixes and stability improvements keep the game running smoother than ever. In short, Encaria is a heartfelt revival. It respects the classic charm of Sacred 2 while delivering the polish and depth that modern players expect. Whether you're a returning hero or a newcomer, the fate of Encaria is waiting to be shaped by your choices. From the team behind Before Your Eyes comes a daring new entry that flips the script on what it means to play as a newborn. You're Isaac, a 6-month-old with a growing psychic gift, and every heartbeat feels like a pulse of possibility. The core of the experience is that you're literally looking through your own eyes, literally, by using the camera as your controller. The developers have polished the tech to the point where a tilt of your head or a quick glance can send shockwaves through the world, making the camera feel like a natural extension of the character's emerging powers. The narrative is surprisingly grounded in the desire for love and belonging. Isaac's quest to be accepted by his family is tugged at by a shadowy tech corporation that sees the baby's abilities as a corporate asset. That tension gives the game a moral edge that keeps you thinking even when you're just flicking a switch. Gameplay is inventive but uneven. The camera mechanics can feel clunky at first, but once you get the hang of it, the immersion is palpable. The puzzles are thoughtful, but some sections drag when the camera lags behind your intended move. Still, the emotional weight of a baby's perspective, combined with the visceral, hands-in camera play, makes this a fresh, if imperfect, addition to the indie scene.
I could already tell I will.
When the screen lights up, you're in a fog of confusion, your memory a blank slate. A voice crackles from an unseen speaker, offering a way out, and you're thrust into a world where every fight feels like a boss battle. The combat is a brutal mix of Souls-like precision and Bulethel Man. You have to read patterns, dodge with timing, and strike at the right moment, or you'll find yourself crushed. Between the clashes, the town breathes with a quirky charm. Friendly villagers, interlocking side quests, and a darts minigame keep the pace varied, while a Gachapon machine hides 48 collectibles that can tweak the difficulty to suit your taste. The pixel art is hand-drawn and nostalgic, with detailed backgrounds that make every corner feel alive. And the roster of eccentric characters? They're not just side notes, they're the heart of the story, guiding you toward an inevitable birthday that's both haunting and bittersweet. In short, Bittersweet Birthday marries punishing action with heartfelt narrative, all wrapped in a pixelated package that feels fresh and unforgettable. If you're up for a challenge that rewards patience and skill, and you love a story that lingers long after the credits roll, this is the game you need to play. Hey, puzzle lovers, get ready to have your brain and your ears blown wide open. Imagine the classic block matching fun of Lumens, but re-engineered by the minds behind Tetris Effect. From the moment the first block drops, the game hits you with a full spectrum experience. Sound literally pulses through your body, lighting up every square you line up. There are more than 35 stages, each a different sensory playground. 1 minute you're in a lush jungle, the next you're skating down neon streets, and then you're floating in the endless glow of outer space. The soundtrack, crafted by Hydaelek, is a kaleidoscope of electronic beats that sync perfectly with the on-screen action. Pull the new burst mechanic, hold your combo, and watch the whole field explode in a dazzling visual feast when the timer resets. It's addictive, but mastering the timing and the combos is where the real challenge lies. The game doesn't just stop at solo play. Jump into single-player modes, tackle challenges, or throw your blocks into the arena with friends online. And if you're into immersion, the optional VR mode brings the whole thing to life, while 4K sharpness makes every color pop. Customization is a blast too. Build your Lumi avatar with the most options the series has ever offered, make it as quirky or as sleek as you want. And the playlist feature lets you curate your own soundtrack, turning each run into a personal journey. Whether you've played Lumens before or you're a brand new player, Lumens Arise is the ultimate puzzle adventure. It's easy to pick up, but it will keep you coming back for that perfect combo, that perfect beat, that perfect moment. Dive in, get hyped, or just chill. This game has a slot for every mood and every headset. Enjoy the burst. Winter Burrow feels like a warm hug wrapped in a winter coat. You start as a city-bred mouse who returns to find the burrow in ruins and an ant gone missing. The game's pacing is gentle, letting you explore the snowy woods, gather wood and berries, and craft tools at your own speed. The knitting system is surprisingly deep. Each stitch unlocks a new pattern, and the sweaters you create not only keep you warm, but also add personality to the burrow. Baking pies adds a comforting rhythm to the gameplay, and the local NPCs are charming, offering quests that weave the mystery of the missing ant into the survival loop. Graphically, the hand-drawn style feels cozy, though some textures can look a bit flat on larger monitors. The music is soothing, but a few tracks get repetitive after a while. One of the game's biggest strengths is its open-ended design. You can choose to focus on crafting, exploring, or socializing. However, the crafting tree is a bit shallow, and some resource nodes feel too predictable. Overall, Winter Burrow is a heartwarming, low-pressure survival experience that rewards patience and creativity, perfect for a relaxed gaming session.
And outside, the forest is vast and a lot.
Welcome to the depths of a game that rewrites itself with every breath you take. In a deep descent in search of Umoma, you follow Moma on a desperate quest to find her friend in a sprawling underground labyrinth called Million Depth. What starts as a simple rescue mission quickly turns into a mind-bending puzzle of time, choice, and consequence. The core mechanic that sets this game apart is the Biotope Jammer. Freeze the entire battlefield, stand still, and watch the enemies freeze around you. It's a breathtaking moment of calm in a world that feels like it's shifting beneath your feet. Combined with a fragile shield and weapon system that breaks after a few hits, the Jammer forces you to think strategically. Every move is a calculated risk. Crafting is another layer that feels both rewarding and chaotic. Mix blocks to forge guns, shields, or even upgrade them by pairing identical types. Your creativity becomes your greatest weapon. And don't forget the barter system. Shopkeepers trade in mood and value, not coins, making each negotiation a tense dance. The ever-fluctuating Stockenham resource adds an extra layer of unpredictability, keeping you on your toes. The story is fractured, and each timeline offers a different slice of Moma's fate. It's a narrative experiment that can feel disjointed, but when it clicks, it's profoundly satisfying. The downside? The learning curve is steep, and the time freeze mechanic can feel gimmicky if overused. All in all, A Deep Descent in Search of Umoma is a bold, time-bending adventure that rewards patience, creativity, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. If you're ready to dive into a world that never stays the same, this game is worth your time. Imagine stepping into the role of a tabletop shop owner, but with the freedom to craft every corner of your dream storefront. From setting prices to rearranging shelves of minis, paints, dice, and mystery packs, the game gives you the tools to create a space that feels like the ultimate nerd hangout. You can hire cashiers, restockers, even mini painters so you can focus on the big picture or just enjoy the chaos of a busy shop. The real fun kicks in when you dive into the collect, build, and paint loop. Open those mystery packs, hunt for rare parts, glue and paint them into epic miniatures, and decide whether to sell for profit or stash them like a goblin hoarder. Each shop visit is a mini adventure, and the game rewards creativity with new boxes, board games, and decor to attract VIP customers. Overall, Tabletop Game Shop Simulator nails the sandbox vibe with a sweet mix of management and creative building. It's charming, a bit addictive, and perfect for anyone who loves the world of tabletop gaming. If you've ever dreamed of running your own shop, this is the game that lets you live it. From the moment you step onto the sandy plains of ancient Egypt, you're handed the weight of a civilization. Egypt Frontiers throws you into the role of master builder and ruler, letting you raise pyramids with authentic tools and techniques, right from the first stepstone to the final capstone. The game doesn't just let you stack blocks, it demands you manage labor, feed your people, and solve social problems, all while steering the kingdom toward glory or a personal vision of history. The dual mode design is a real treat. In strategy mode, you make global decisions that ripple across the Nile, and in first-person mode, you get a Hansen feel of life in the courtyard, the hiss of a smelting furnace, the hum of a bustling market. The developers nailed the atmosphere with accurate architecture, realistic construction physics, and a soundtrack that makes the desert feel alive. If you're a fan of simulation depth and a love for ancient Egypt, Egypt Frontiers offers a polished, immersive experience that lets you write your own legacy on the sands of time. Anno 117. Pax Romana drops you straight into the heart of the Roman Empire, and it's a builder's playground that feels both grand and meticulously detailed. From the sun-kissed plains of Latium to the misty wetlands of Albion, every piece of land is a canvas for your ambition. You start as a governor, tasked with not just laying roads and aqueducts, but also juggling the intricate dance of economics, diplomacy, and loyalty. What sets this game apart is its layered decision-making. Do you impose Roman law on a Celtic province, risking rebellion, or do you respect local customs and gain unique bonuses? The choices ripple through your empire, your taxes, your military strength, even the gods your people worship. That's a depth you rarely find in a city builder. The economy feels alive. Raw materials flow from mines to mills, then to traders who cross seas to deliver goods to distant markets. The supply chains are complex enough to keep you thinking, but simple enough to never feel like a chore. And when you're ready to show off, the naval battles are surprisingly visceral, letting you command legions on the sea as well as on land. The game shines on its visuals, vivid, detailed, and true to the period, and on its pacing. Each expansion feels like a new chapter, and the pre-purchase builder pack adds extra layers of customization that keep you engaged. The only real gripe is that the political intrigue can feel a bit linear at times, but that's a small price to pay for an empire that feels like it's breathing. All in all, Anno 117. Pax Romana is a masterclass in building, balancing, and ruling. It's not just a game, it's a living, breathing Roman saga that rewards patience, strategy, and a little bit of audacity. If you've ever dreamed of shaping an empire, this is the place to start.
And your rule may go more smoothly.
Hey gamers, listen up. Inazuma 11 just dropped a brand new chapter, and it's shaking up everything we love about the series. The release slipped from August 22nd to November 13th, so if you've been holding off, now's the time to jump in. Pre-orders before 14:59 GMT on the 13th snag the Advanced Booster Bundle, a Bracelet of Victory, a full set of training beans, and the Dark Emperor's Kit, perfect for turbocharging those new characters. The story lands 25 years after the original saga. Destin Billows steps into South Cirrus Junior High, while Raymond's top team faces a new threat, the football monster Harper Evans. The narrative is tight, with a mix of new lore and the classic team-building grind that made us fall in love with this franchise. And the modes? We're talking a chronicle that lets you relive over 5,400 characters from past titles, a competitive mode that keeps you on your toes, and Bond Station, your own Kizuna town where you can decorate, invite friends, and even bring your avatar onto the field. Plus, Mappa delivers the longest anime cutscenes in the series, so the story feels cinematic. If you're hunting for extra firepower, the Victory Road Deluxe Edition adds a Kusa character crate, exclusive Bond objects, a promise pendant, and even 72 hours of early access. Ready to rewrite football history? Let's go. Welcome to the world of Atelier Ryza, where alchemy, adventure, and growing up collide in a breathtaking island setting. The DX edition takes everything you loved from the original and amps it up with fresh content that feels like a whole new chapter. First up, 3 brand new playable characters, Agatha, Kilo, and Romy, bring distinct personalities and unique alchemical styles. Kilo's side story has you chasing him through the underworld, battling boss, and then swapping perspectives to play as Kilo himself. Meanwhile, the afterstory lets Ryza, Agatha, and Romy teach local kids and hunt down the mischievous students who escape the classroom, filling the gap between the first and second games. Combat gets a serious makeover with custom combat mode, letting you pick monsters, tweak difficulty, and control battle pacing. It's a satisfying way to revisit those classic turn-based encounters. Beyond new stories, the DX version expands the world with extra maps, swimsuit outfits, a polished photo mode, and improved UI. Storage is bigger, graphics are sharper, and the interface feels smoother than ever. And if you've played the Secret series, you can link your saved data for bonus items, an incentive to keep all the Ryza titles in your library. All in all, Atelier Ryza. Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout DX is a charming, polished package that rewards both newcomers and veterans alike. Dive back in, make some potions, and let the island's secrets unfold. The weight of the Gigasword isn't just a gimmick, it's the heart of every decision in this action puzzle Metroidvania. From the moment you feel its heft, you're learning that strength and strategy go hand in hand. The city of Thonheart sets up a desperate, almost tragic backdrop, and the ancient tower Nestrium feels like a ticking time bomb of myth and danger. What really sets this game apart is how the sword itself becomes a tool for exploration. You're not just hacking through demons. You're using the blade to weigh down plates, lift blocks, and open hidden passages. The puzzles feel organic, and the sense of discovery, uncovering forgotten halls, finding new abilities like thunderbolts and grappling hooks, keeps you guessing what's next. The combat is solid, but the real challenge comes from the traps and the relentless bosses that push you to adapt or die. The story of Ezra fighting to stop a reality-shattering evil is compelling, though sometimes the pacing dips when the narrative lags behind the action. Overall, Balance the Weight delivers a tense, inventive experience that rewards both brawn and brain. Pre-purchase any digital edition and you'll jump straight into the action with instant perks. A Reznov Challenge Pack that unlocks the SOG Reznov Operator skin, plus the Stalingrad and Memory Reznov skins, and the Guild Override weapon camo that gives your gear a slick new look. Now let's talk Black Ops 7. The year is 2035, the world is teetering on the edge of total collapse, and you're the elite JSOC operative David Mason. Your mission? Slip into the neon-lit streets of Avalon, a Mediterranean metropolis that's more mystery than map, and uncover a conspiracy that threatens to pull the globe into chaos and drag you into the shadows of your own past. What's fresh here is the Coop campaign. You can squad up or play solo in a mission that feels less like a single-player story and more like a living, breathing battle. Think high-stakes fights on rooftops in Tokyo, sandy coastlines in Avalon, and even surreal, psychological arenas that test your nerves as much as your aim. Multiplayer doesn't skimp on excitement either. 6 maps launch with the game, and you'll also get 2 20v20 arenas. From the hyper-futuristic Tokyo skyline to the brutal, frozen tundra of Alaska, every map is a playground for your new arsenal and the evolved on-the-movement system that lets you glide, slide, and dodge like never before. And for the Zombies fans, the classic round-based mode has been twisted into a nightmare. Trapped in the dark ether, your crew is thrown into a shifting hellscape where survival is just the first step toward a descent into madness. All in all, Black Ops 7 delivers a polished, immersive experience that expands the franchise's narrative depth, redefines Coop, and gives multiplayer and Zombies fans plenty of new ground to explore. In the heart of a turbulent China, where winds meet invites you to step into the shoes of a young sword master on a quest that feels both epic and deeply personal. From the moment you cross the threshold of the imperial capital, the world awakens. Mountain peaks whisper, rivers murmur, and every wind carries a promise of discovery. The game's open world is a living tapestry of over 20 distinct regions, each teeming with secrets, bustling markets, and forgotten temples. You'll glide across rooftops, windstride across open plains, or simply pause to play a flute beneath swaying willows. Every action you take, whether you ally with villagers or chase a bounty, shapes the narrative, and the consequences ripple through a dynamic political landscape of the 5 dynasties and 10 kingdoms. Combat feels like a dance of fluid martial arts, letting you craft a style that suits your rhythm. Whether you favor the blistering swing of Dark Atlas, Infernum drops you straight into the mind-shattering heart of a horror that feels both ancient and eerily modern. You play as Natalia Asensio, a grand master of a forgotten esoteric order, locked in a dusty basement as reality frays around you. Every creak, every flicker of light becomes a threat, and the voice in your head is not just a narrator, it's the game's guiding, taunting presence. The game's psychological survival mechanics are its strongest point. It forces you to juggle memory and sanity to remember who you are while trying to stop an apocalypse that feels like a living nightmare. The atmosphere is thick, with handcrafted visuals that make every shadow feel alive and audio that lurches you from silence into sudden terror. What makes Infernum truly memorable is its narrative depth. It's part of the larger Radiata Saga universe, but the story stands alone, complex and independent, with a pace that keeps you guessing. And the accessibility options mean that no matter who you are, you can dive into this dark, immersive experience. Dark Atlas isn't just a game, it's a psychological journey that will haunt you long after you've turned off the console. Welcome to Astro Busters, the modern homage to the classic asteroid shooters that have everyone nostalgic for a true space shooting experience. From the moment you launch the ship, the game hits you with realistic physics that feel like real weight in zero gravity, and the controls are tight enough that every burst of fire and evasive maneuver feels purposeful. The early access launch packs 3 polished levels, a handful of new weapons, and a leaderboard that keeps you coming back for that high score. Single-player missions let you test your skills while upgrading your ship, and the cross-platform multiplayer brings the arcade fun to friends without the hassle of separate accounts. What really sets Astro Busters apart is its focus on pure, fast-paced action. There's no clunky menu navigation or confusing HUD. Everything is where you expect it to be, letting you focus on blasting asteroids and taking down enemy fighters. The upcoming full release promises even more: Capture Aetha Flag multiplayer, smarter AI, and a host of new weapons, so keep your eyes on that next update. If you're craving a fresh take on a classic genre, grab Astro Busters on PC now, or hit the demo on Google Play to see the slick physics and addictive gameplay for yourself. It's a solid blast through the stars that will keep you shooting for hours. If you're craving a whirlwind of fists, fury, and feline swagger, Cloppunk throws you straight into the middle of a cyberpunk playground where the walls literally bend to your will. Every smash and slash feels heavier because the environment is fully destructible. Break a wall, crush a foe, and watch the score climb. 9 cats, each with their own weapons and special moves that charge up as you chain combos, give you a roster that feels more like a party than a roster. The game's roguelite heart keeps the runs fresh. Each playthrough reshuffles enemies and rewards aggressive play with devastating rage attacks that feel earned rather than spammed. The level design is smart too. 5 zones, 4 of which you can tackle in any order, let you choose between open arenas for ranged fun or tight corridors for brutal melee. A scalable difficulty means you can test your skills against anything from a casual run to a hardcore grind. The synth-heavy soundtrack and gritty industrial soundscape reinforce the 80s/90s cyberpunk vibe, adding an extra layer of immersion. The only hiccup? The learning curve can feel steep for newcomers, but once you get the rhythm of the combo system, the game's relentless pace and rewarding mechanics make it hard to put down. Cloppink is a high-octane, cat-powered spectacle that delivers on every promise of a pulse-pounding action roguelite. Welcome to the nightmare that's a grocery all gone wrong. In this coop horror, you and up to 2 friends find yourselves trapped inside a sprawling megastore that's as alive as it is empty. The first thing that hits you is the sheer creepiness of the setting. Imagine walking down a fluorescent lit hallway that's been abandoned for years, but the lights flicker on and off like a warning. Every step feels like a decision that could either keep you alive or doom you to the store's relentless staff. The core of the experience is survival and teamwork. You can't just sprint, you have to talk, literally. The proximity voice chat and walkie-talkies force you to communicate quietly, or you'll draw the employees' attention. That's a clever way to make even the most casual players feel the pressure. The puzzles aren't just about logic, they're about reading cryptic notes and hunting for fuses to restore power. It's a nice touch that makes the environment feel interactive instead of just a backdrop. What really sets it apart is the sanity system. As the mall's insanity seeps into your mind, you might start doubting your own teammates. That psychological layer adds a fresh twist to the usual coop horror formula. The 3D audio is spot on. Every creak, every distant shout feels like it's coming from behind you. On the downside, the pacing can feel uneven. Some sections drag, especially if you're split up and can't rely on teammates. Also, the randomization of items and obstacles can sometimes make it feel like a grind to find what you need. All in all, if you're looking for a tense, cooperative horror that turns a mundane shopping trip into a fight for survival, this game delivers. It's a small but effective package that keeps you on edge until the very last checkout line.
But he wasn't doing well.
Welcome to the story of Berlin's Forgotten Walls, a game that turns a simple renovation job into a haunting, treasure hunt adventure. Follow Delara and her father Malik as they breathe new life into an old apartment, only to unearth relics that whisper the lives of those who lived here before. Each artifact is a portal, a flash of a romance, a wartime secret, a quiet moment of joy, all narrated by Malik, who weaves the apartment's past into a living tapestry. The gameplay is clever. You search rooms, solve puzzles, and collect items, but each episode feels like a fresh chapter. The mechanics shift subtly. Sometimes you're a detective, other times a composer. Each time the same 4 walls reveal a different genre. Visually, the game bursts with color. Think comic book panels brought to life in 3D with detailed textures that make the Berlin skyline feel like a living postcard. The city itself is alive, its history humming in the background, reminding you that the building you're fixing is just one piece of a larger, vibrant story. If you love atmospheric storytelling, quirky puzzles, and art that feels like a living painting, Berlin's Forgotten Walls will keep you hooked, one relic at a time.
I guess, just like us, they kept themselves busy.
Force Strike throws you straight into the heart of a kung fu saga, where every run feels like a brand new movie. The core of the game is its foresight mechanic. Before you step onto the battlefield, you can rehearse the fight in your mind, learning the patterns of each enemy. It's a clever twist on the roguelite formula. Each death is a lesson, and every time you restart, you're one step closer to mastering the Admiral's henchmen. You play as you, a lone martial artist on a quest to free the Emperor. The world is a handcrafted pixel art wonder, full of vibrant locales, quirky NPCs, and brutal mobs that swarm like a real kung fu showdown. The combat is visceral and satisfying, demanding you think on your feet and use every technique you've unlocked. The 5 eccentric masters you meet along the way drop permanent upgrades, letting you mix and match moves into a custom flow that feels truly personal. Replayability is built into the game's DNA. Randomized maps, ends to recover, and the ever-present choice of whether to rely on foresight keep each playthrough fresh. Force Strike isn't just a tribute to classic martial arts cinema, it's a modern, adaptive challenge that rewards careful planning and bold improvisation. If you love fast-paced, skill-based action with a dash of strategic depth, this roguelite will have you saying, "Forewarned is forearmed."
After lifetime.
Picture waking up on a quiet main island, only to find the humans are gone. 9 cats, each with their own quirks, skills, and stories, must band together to survive and decide whether to bring humanity back. From the moment you step onto the shore, the island feels alive. No invisible walls block your path. Every building has a handcrafted interior, and the weather shifts from misty dawns to thunderous downpours, turning the tide and the soundtrack in real time. The game offers a true open world with a rich 200-year alternate history to uncover, old maps, family lineages, letters hidden in dusty corners. Your choices matter. How you treat the deer, the seagulls, and the remnants of human power shapes the narrative, leading to 3 distinct endings and plenty of replay value. Emotionally, the game expands beyond lighthearted adventure. You'll feel the weight of loss, the joy of discovery, and the quiet contentment of watching a sunset with your feline companions. The adaptive soundtrack mirrors those moods, making every playthrough feel unique. In short, Peace Island is a labor of love that rewards patience and curiosity. It's a rare, story-driven open-world title that invites you to relax, explore, and decide what a future without humans truly means.
Can we make better choices?
Knights of the Purge Night is a frantic, 2D experience that flips the classic hunter-prey formula on its head. On one side you have the hulking hunters, armed with razor-sharp axes that can be thrown or swung in close combat, and a monstrous 4x4 that roars across the map, spitting out a cage to trap survivors. On the other, the survivors are a ragtag crew of scrappy escape artists who rely on stealth, traps, and, most importantly, repairing a battered vehicle to escape the town. The first thing that grabs you is the sheer contrast in playstyles. Hunters feel like a relentless storm of brute force. Every dash, every swing of the axe drains stamina, and the vehicle's heat mechanic forces you to pace yourself. It's a brutal, high-risk game plan that rewards careful timing. Survivors, in contrast, are all about cunning. You slip through shadows, set bear traps, scavenge pistols and a rare shotgun, and if you're lucky enough to find gasoline and batteries, you can patch up your car and smash your way out. The tension of being hunted while trying to repair your car is a masterclass in pressure. The game's physics engine really shines with those vehicles. Whether you're a hunter driving the monster truck or a survivor cranking out a dented car, the weight and momentum feel tangible. Coupled with the realistic heat and stamina systems, you're forced to think about when to sprint, when to conserve, and when to throw your axe. The mechanic where hunters can cut off the town's electricity adds a strategic layer, shut down power, and survivors have to navigate a city that's suddenly darker and more dangerous. Voice chat is another standout. Hunters' voices are distorted with a spooky effect that makes every shout feel like a threat, while survivors can communicate normally. It adds to the immersion and makes coordination feel like a real battle. The 3D proximity chat means you can hear teammates shouting across the map, which is a huge help in a game that can feel chaotic. However, the game does have its quirks. The survivor's vehicle repair feels a bit slow, and the hunter's vehicle cooldown can feel punishing if you're not careful. Also, the game's pacing sometimes lurches. Long stretches of stealth can feel dull until a hunter's roar breaks the silence. All in all, Knights of the Purge Night is a tense, high-stakes 2-go-4 that rewards both brute force and clever strategy. If you're looking for a game that makes you feel like you're either the one pulling the chains or the one escaping them, this is the one to try. From the first splash into Bikini Bottom, the game grabs you with its bright, cartoonish visuals and the unmistakable charm of SpongeBob and Patrick. Switching between the goofy sponge and his best friend feels natural, and each character brings unique platforming moves that keep the action fresh. Patrick's new grappling hook and burrowing mechanic add a satisfying layer of strategy, while the ghost-filled storyline delivers a quirky, engaging adventure. The original voice cast brings authenticity to every laugh and gasp, and the boss fights against the Flying Dutchman, King Neptune, and a chilling hibernation, sandy test timing, and skill with style. Overall, it's a polished, nostalgic experience that honors the show while offering solid gameplay for both longtime fans and newcomers. From the dank depths of the sewer to the neon-lit rooftops above, Morsels flips the classic creature collector on its head. You start as a scrappy mouse, but a sentient fatberg soon teaches you how to morph into a morsel, a tiny, powerful monster that can turn the tide of battle. The game's heart is its rotating roster. Grab a new morsel, swap on the fly, and combine their unique abilities to outsmart the cat's oppressive forces. Each creature comes with its own quirks, buffs, and ailments, so every run feels fresh. Combat is frenetic and satisfying, with magic cards that trigger instant transformations. The roguelite structure keeps you on your toes. Progress is temporary, but the knowledge you gain makes each new playthrough feel sharper. Hidden bonus levels pepper the map, offering wildly different art styles and gameplay twists that keep the experience from getting stale. The charm is undeniable: quirky visuals, a lighthearted soundtrack, and a sense of humor that never feels forced. Morsels delivers addictive, chaotic fun with endless replayability. If you're craving a top-down, creature-collector roguelite that rewards experimentation and quick reflexes, this is the game that will keep you coming back for more. Welcome to the lands of Phil, where the kingdoms of the dump turn garbage into a grand adventure. Picture an SNES-style RPG crafted by two full-time janitors, and you'll get the sense that every pixel was cleaned with purpose. You play as Dustin Binsley, the Trashkin Knight, who rides across 5.5 kingdoms to stop a toxic Gremlin army from sweeping the world into war. Combat is a crisp, turn-based grid that feels like a modern homage to classic RPGs, but with a twist: no random encounters, and every hit is timed. The game throws you into platforming moments that feel earned, no small bushes block your path. You're meant to jump, climb, or use Dustin's unique tools. Speaking of tools, you can swap characters on the field, each with a distinct ability: rust, climb, gun, bubble, making every encounter a new puzzle. The world map is a large, Mode 7 playground that stretches beyond the screen, and each region feels fresh with creative environments and bosses that make you laugh and gasp in equal measure. The pixel art by DM404, the boss designs by Francis Colombi, and the music, Bobby Ghostley's score with a guest touch from William Cage and a special cameo from Hiroki Kikuta, create a soundtrack that feels both nostalgic and oddly fitting for a kingdom of trash. If you love retro RPGs with a quirky twist, Kingdoms of the Dump is a clean, hilarious, and surprisingly deep experience that proves even the messiest worlds can shine. Birdcage takes the frantic vertical scrolling spirit of the 90s and injects it with a fresh, sci-fi twist. From the moment you fire the radon gunship Halcyon, you're juggling a wide blast, a razor-sharp focus shot, and the game's signature sword, a weapon that feels as heavy as it looks. The action is relentless, but the pacing never feels rushed. Each enemy wave is choreographed to keep you on your toes while the soundtrack keeps your adrenaline pumping. The narrative is where Birdcage really shines. Set in a future where humanity split between the lunar power of Selene and the orbital colony Radon, the story follows a lone pilot awakened inside the Halcyon to destroy the world GG. The storytelling is delivered through crisp, voicey acting, interludes, and stage bosses that feel like anime cutscenes, making the stakes feel personal, not just pixelated. Visually, the game pays homage to classic sprite-based shooters with sprite scaling, pre-rendered backgrounds, and limited textures that echo early 3D aesthetics. The result is a nostalgic yet polished look that never feels dated. And the audio, over an hour of dynamic tracks, bespoke effects, and that unmistakable 90s synth flavor, completes the package, turning each run into an immersive, high-octane experience. Whether you're chasing a high score in Score Attack, racing the clock in Score Attack mode, or diving into the full story, Birdcage delivers tight gameplay, a compelling narrative, and a retro-future aesthetic that keeps you coming back for more. Hey, gamers! Let's dive into a title that blends dungeon crawling with a cozy merchant's dream. Picture a place called Tresna where you're stranded with nothing but grit and a dream to rebuild. You're not just a fighter, you're the heartbeat of the town. Every time you slash through the endless vault, you haul relics, sell them, and funnel that cash back into your friends' shops. It's a loop of loot, investment, and village growth that feels surprisingly satisfying. The roguelike grind keeps each run fresh, but the real magic lies in the shop management. Decorating the floor, haggling with curious townsfolk, and reacting to surprise events turns your storefront into a living character. And when the village thrives, the rush of new customers and higher prices makes the economy feel alive. Action RPG combat is solid, fast, varied, and rewarding. The deeper you dig, the bigger the treasure, but beware greed. One misstep can cost everything. The Endless Vault's trials test your merchant instincts, pushing you to keep upgrading your town for bigger stakes. In short, this game is a clever mashup of dungeon crawling and economic strategy that's both addictive and heartwarming. If you love a story of new beginnings and a challenge that rewards smart investing, Tresna is ready to welcome you. Welcome to Demon School, the tactics RPG that flips the genre on its head. Picture this: you're Faye, a student on a mysterious island, battling giant weirdos that lurk between the human and demon realms. Every move you plan is a motion-based action, so you can rewind, tweak, and perfect your strategy before the battle even begins. It's like having a rehearsal before the show. What makes it truly unique is the rewind mechanic. During the planning phase, you can backtrack, set up combos, and line up elemental attacks that explode with massive damage. Those numbers on the screen aren't just numbers, they're a scorecard of your tactical genius. And the enemies? They react to the environment, getting struck by objects or swept aside by a clever dash. The world feels alive, not just a backdrop. The story is a light horror tapestry told through gigantic avatars and side quests that feel like campus gossip. You'll be juggling class schedules to level up skills, building friendships with 15 distinct characters, and choosing who gets your attention. Each relationship opens new abilities and plot twists, so your decisions matter. Explore the island day by day, week by week, as the semester unfolds. The mystery deepens with each sunrise, and your team's growth is directly tied to your planning. Demon School isn't just a game, it's a campus, a battlefield, and a social experiment all rolled into one. If you love tactical depth, story choices, and a fresh take on the genre, this is the title you need to check out. Welcome to Brush Burial, Better World, a gritty frontier adventure where your devilish protagonist, Fennel, survives by carving a living out of the world's rough edges. The game throws you into tight, interconnected levels packed with hostile and helpful NPCs that react instantly to every crime, stealing, trespassing, even murder. The combat system is fast and simple, yet deep. You can improvise with anything you find, from broken crates to stolen weapons, or just rely on your unique hand-to-hand takedown moves. And if you're a pacifist, you can avoid all fights. Mercy or malice is entirely up to you. The core of the experience is its systemic gameplay. Every choice echoes through the world, shaping how you navigate the slithering undercarriage of the colony. You'll tackle one greater contract and 3 lesser contracts across 4 levels, each designed for replayability. As you progress, dozens of cosmetics unlock, rewarding you for mastering each path and experimenting with different strategies. Brush Burial invites you to make wealth out of misery, to find your own path through the chaos, and to keep coming back for more. It's a tense, immersive sim that rewards creativity, stealth, and a bit of devilish flair. Welcome to the battlefield of Fusefort, where chess meets deck building and dragons breathe fire on every move. Imagine building your own board, every square a new opportunity, and choosing pieces that can explode, jump, or even self-destruct. The spearman sidesteps and lunges, the cracked pawn lets you buy more power, and the warden, once a castle, now leaps 2 spaces to guard your flank. Fusefort isn't just a chess variant. It's a strategic playground where every piece can turn the tide in a single capture. The demo lets you try the core of this chaos, but it's limited. Only a handful of pieces are available, and matchmaking is strictly demo versus demo. As the game expands, expect a richer roster and more robust online play. Ranked ladders and leaderboards give you a reason to keep refining your custom formations. Whether you're testing against AI or going head-to-head online, the challenge stays sharp. So grab a deck, craft a board, and ask yourself, will you outwit, outmaneuver, or out-explode your way to victory? In Fusefort, the battlefield is yours to design, and every move could be the last.
Courage tested.
Imagine stepping into the world of Dungeons and Dragons and immediately feeling the weight of a sword in your hand, the crackle of magic in the air, and the thrill of a strategy board beneath your feet. That's what Battlemark delivers, a tactical, cooperative board game that turns the legendary tabletop experience into a digital, pick-your-pen-play adventure. From the moment you open the app, you're greeted with the classic D&D classes, Paladin, Sorcerer, Ranger, Rogue, each one feeling true to the source, while their abilities are distilled into sharp, card-based actions. The turn-based combat is a breath of fresh air. You plan, you adapt, you combine spells and attacks to control the battlefield. One wrong move, and the enemy's next card can change everything. So every draw feels like a new puzzle. What truly sets it apart is the emphasis on teamwork. Up to 4 players can sync their strategies, set traps, and unleash devastating combo attacks. Even if you prefer solo play, the skirmish mode lets you command your party against AI foes with the same depth of tactics. The campaigns, Neverwinterwood, Kragma Castle, and more are replayable, with each run altering the board and the enemies. That keeps the game fresh, and the developers promise additional DLC adventures down the line. All in all, Battlemark captures the heart of D&D while making it fast, accessible, and endlessly replayable. If you're a fan of tactical board games or just looking for a new way to experience the Forgotten Realms, this is the game that should go on your wishlist now. Neon Inferno drops you into a neon-lit, dystopian New York where the line between foreground and background blurs. As Angelo or Mariana, you slash, shoot, and deflect in a fluid blend of side-scrolling and gallery shooter mechanics that keeps the action alive from every angle. The pixel art is crisp, each street and rooftop pulsing with color, while the soundtrack swells like a cyberpunk heartbeat, pulling you deeper into the city's chaos. Bullet time lets you turn enemy fire back on them, and the ability to commandeer vehicles adds a dash of high-speed chase that feels fresh. Upgrades and weapon choices let you tailor your playstyle, and the single-credit arcade mode offers a brutal, high-stakes challenge that rewards precision. Coupe doubles the fun, 2 characters, double firepower, and twice the chaos. Each boss feels like a mini-festival of unique attacks and phases, demanding quick reflexes and strategic thinking. Neon Inferno isn't just another 2D brawler. It's a slick, stylish assault that makes every pixel count. Outlaws is back, and it's riding into the Wild West with a swagger that only a remaster from the team behind Star Wars, Dark Forces, could pull off. From the moment you step into James Anderson's boots, the game feels like a high-octane Western movie you're living in first person. The arsenal, 6-shooter, scoped rifle, 10-gauge, and a sawed-off shotgun covers every encounter, and the gunplay is tight, satisfying, and never feels like a gimmick. The visuals hit hard too. With 4K 120 FPS, every barrel, bullet, and dusty canyon is rendered with a crisp, stylized fidelity that honors the 1997 original while giving it a modern polish. The cutscenes are high-resolution, uncompressed, and fully recreated from archival art, so you get the cinematic feel without the lag. Multiplayer is where Outlaws truly expands its legacy. Crossplay is supported across console and PC, and you can jump into deathmatch, team play, capture the flag, or the oddly named Kill the Fool with the Chicken. The new gamepad support adds a weapon wheel rumble and even motion controls, keeping the experience fresh for both veterans and newcomers. With 26 achievements, a vault of Behind Thesson's goodies, and a handful of missions that feel like a complete package, Outlaws Plus Handful of Missions is a solid, nostalgic revamp that still packs enough grit and fun to keep you in the saddle for hours. It's not just a throwback, it's a full-throttle ride back into the frontier.
You afraid of dying, kid? Repair and optimize.
Ever dreamed of being an IT hero? IT Specialist Simulator drops you straight into the trenches of tech support, from answering the help desk to managing entire networks and servers. Each day you diagnose failures, patch systems, and juggle urgent tickets while the clock ticks and SLAs loom. The game feels like a real office, with authentic command line tools and genuine troubleshooting steps that actually teach you how to set up routers, manage databases, and keep everything humming. And it's not just a grind, your choices carve a career path. Do you climb the ladder to project management or specialize in a sports event tech? The learning mode lets you open up every device, see its internals, and practice repairs. Fast-paced, high stakes, but every crash is a lesson. If you're curious about the world behind every ping, this simulation gives you hands-on experience and a taste of what it takes to survive in IT. Dive in, troubleshoot, and maybe you'll become the next IT legend.
Manage network.
In the bleak wasteland of Thea, you're not just fighting monsters, you're rebuilding a civilization from the ground up. The game drops you into a retro-futuristic world steeped in Slavic folklore, where every ruin hides a secret and every decision reshapes the story. You start by shaping your hero, pick the gender, class, and race that fit your playstyle, then recruit a ragtag crew of NPCs, each with their own quirks and powerful abilities. Combat feels like a living deck-building experience. Every card you draw is a tactical choice that can turn the tide of a turn-based skirmish or forge a desperate bargain with a demon. It's not just about firepower, it's about outsmarting foes in a world that rewards clever use of your limited resources. But the heart of the game lies in the colony. Expand your settlement, manage scarce supplies, and navigate the politics of a council that's as ruthless as the wasteland itself. Every choice you make here echoes in the narrative, making each playthrough feel unique. And if you're looking for a partner in crime, the Coop mode lets you and a friend tackle the chaos together. Just double the strategy, double the fun. In short, this roguelite adventure offers a dark, atmospheric experience where survival, strategy, and storytelling collide in a truly immersive package. R-Type Delta HD Boosted isn't just a remaster, it's a full-blown homage to a classic that still feels fresh. From the moment you fire off your first shot, the crisp, high-resolution graphics bring the 1998 masterpiece into sharp focus, every polygon edge razor-sharp, every blast of energy glittering with new detail. The upgrade doesn't just look good, it plays smoother, with tighter level design and the classic force mechanic that turns your ship into a living, breathing weapon. You can pick from 3 iconic ships, each with its own Delta attacks, and the new quality of life tweaks make the gameplay feel as polished as it is nostalgic. The game's dark, atmospheric world is told entirely through its environments, no cutscenes, no dialogue, just haunting, minimalist storytelling that makes every ruined platform and flickering corridor feel alive. The story, set in 2163, follows the battered R9 Arrowhead's return to Earth, the rise of the planet-destroying Moritz, and the desperate deployment of the R9A Delta. It's a tense, sci-fi thriller that's as thrilling as it is unsettling. If you remember the thrill of the original, this HD boosted edition is your chance to relive it with fresh clarity. If you've never played it, now's the perfect time. R-Type Delta still feels as sharp and powerful as ever. Welcome to Kakamucho, where the streets are soaked in neon and the cats are on the offensive. From the Gitogo, you're in the paws of Hank, a dog samurai, and his sidekick Jimbo, ready to slice and dice through a parade of feline foes. The game throws you into a whirlwind of slash-and-dash combat, but it's the wacky charm that keeps you coming back. Each hit feels snappy, the animations are crisp, and the soundtrack, think Electric Kodo, keeps your heart racing. What really sets it apart is the depth of its samurai trials. As you progress, you'll face increasingly brutal challenges that test your reflexes and strategy. The game rewards mastering those moves with new mystical skills that let you glide, teleport, or set traps for the cat armies. And when you hit the Coop, the split-screen mode turns every session into a chaotic, laugh-filled brawl. The world itself is a vibrant, cartoonish canvas, village after village, each with its own quirky NPCs and side quests. The story keeps a light tone while weaving a plot that pits the Shogun's cat forces against the humble villages. Even the cutscenes are animated in a way that feels fresh and engaging. In short, Paws of Fury is a fast-paced, humor-packed action-adventure that delivers solid combat, memorable characters, and a multiplayer experience that feels both chaotic and fun. If you're after a quick, energetic romp that doesn't take itself too seriously, this is the game to grab.
Alright? Something very, very wrong is happening.
In the Midnight Walkers, every breath counts. You drop into the sprawling Liberty Grand Center, a maze of hospitals, malls, and casinos, each floor a new battlefield and a new loot hall. You're not just fighting zombies, those walker and mutated runners are deadly, but the real danger comes from other survivors who are just as hungry for gear and glory. The game forces you to scavenge, kill, and escape, all while the poison gas spreads like a ticking time bomb, forcing you to choose your path carefully. You can go solo or team up in trios, and the class system lets you tailor your playstyle. Brick's hammer and armor for brute force, Crow's swift dagger strikes, Lockdown's long-range sniping, or margaritas healing cocktails. Each choice feels impactful, because every round you lose everything you've earned. If you survive, you're rewarded with crafting and trading opportunities. If you don't, the loss is brutal. It's a high-stakes, fast-paced experience that keeps you on edge from the first click to the final escape. The Midnight Walkers isn't just a game. It's a test of strategy, skill, and nerves.
Look around and pick up items that helps you leave.
Berserk BITS drops you into a quirky cyber world where your desktop becomes a battleground. Picture an idle RPG meets Auto Battler, and you've got this game. You download a personal Berserk BIT, that's your battle.intelligent.teammate, and let it run while you work, eat, or binge watch. It's clever. You can sit back, let the BIT farm, and pick up battle chips from the library to build a deck that reacts in real time during fights. The story unfolds through email-style missions that pull you into different biomes, each with its own viruses and bosses. There's a full campaign, side quests, and a home decorating mode where you can showcase your collection. And if you're a creative soul, you can import your own sprite sheets to make a custom BIT that feels personal. The real charm is the chip crafting loop. Collect, combine, and upgrade chips to keep your BIT sharp. The developers promise regular updates, new chips, and more modes, so the grind stays fresh. In short, Berserk BITS is a surprisingly deep, hands-off hack that turns your computer into a living, breathing cyber detective playground. If you're into idle mechanics with a side of customization, this one's worth plugging in. In Artemis, you're thrust into the boots of David D. Silva, a quiet man who suddenly becomes the first mayor of a moon colony on the brink of revolution. The game nails the feel of that absurd leap with a tight, narrative-driven interface that makes every conversation feel like a pulse check on humanity's future. You'll talk to miners, AI ethicists, and underground rebels, each dialogue branch offering real weight. Will you lean into the United Earth Federation's perfect algorithms or champion the lunar independence movement's raw human-centered ethos? Every choice drips with consequence, and the city's limited resources force you to balance short-term comfort against long-term sustainability. The mechanics are surprisingly polished. Budget spreadsheets feel like real civic planning, while the optional AI integration mode throws you into a moral gray zone that's as tense as it is fascinating. The game's narrative pacing is brisk, no long idle stretches, and the stakes rise quickly, culminating in a choice that could either save or doom your moon-bound populace. On the downside, some side quests feel a bit thin, and the AI system's internal logic can occasionally feel like a black box. Still, Artemis delivers a compelling, thought-provoking simulation that's as entertaining as it is unsettling. If you love games that ask, what if? With a heavy dose of realism, Artemis should be on your radar. Step into the world of Sung Jinwoo, the hunter who's on a quest to become the strongest in the realm. In this fresh retelling, you'll relive the original Webtoon's drama while unlocking brand new chapters that only the game can deliver. Combat feels like a dance. Every weapon and combo you choose reshapes the flow of battle, and the skill tree branches into 8 distinct job paths, letting you carve out a truly unique fighting style. Dodge with razor-sharp evasion, time a parry for a devastating counter, and watch as Sung's power grows through the Monarch Awakening system. Each decision shifts the battlefield to your advantage. Team up in for-player raids to take down towering commanders, swapping between Jinwoo and a roster of fellow hunters for varied tactics. And when the monsters fall, gather their loot to craft legendary arms, from the infamous Kasaka's Venom Fong to the Demon King's daggers, bringing the Webtoon's signature weapons straight into your arsenal. With gorgeous animation, deep progression, and cooperative thrills, this game turns the beloved story into an epic adventure that keeps you moving, guessing, and always ready for the next showdown. Paint Utilized throws you into a world where color is both weapon and vulnerability. From the first moment you pick up Constance's brush, you feel the pull of a constant flow, sketching through walls, slicing enemies with a single stroke, and letting the paint itself guide your movements. Each new technique feels like a brushstroke in a larger masterpiece, unlocking fresh ways to tackle puzzles and platforming challenges that keep the gameplay fresh. What sets this game apart is how it marries mechanics with story. The world's biomes are not just visual treats, they mirror Constance's mental journey, turning each colorful environment into a chapter of her inner life. The corruption mechanic adds a subtle tension. Overuse of paint threatens to backfire, forcing you to balance aggression with restraint. And the journal system turns found inspirations into tangible upgrades, letting you literally paint your own path forward. Overall, Paint utilizes a bold, artful adventure that rewards experimentation and narrative curiosity alike. It's a game that asks you to paint your own story, one stroke at a time. The Art of Reflection throws you into a world where mirrors aren't just reflections but portals. From the first moment you activate the snap zoom, you feel that instant burst of speed as you glide through glass, turning a mundane hallway into a dizzying labyrinth of upside-down corridors and hidden corners. The game's core mechanic, passing through mirrors to experience a world with altered gravity and physics, keeps each puzzle fresh. No two rooms feel the same because you're constantly relearning how to move in a flip space. The puzzles themselves are cleverly layered. You solve a basic obstacle on one side, then the same room appears inverted, demanding a new strategy. It's a satisfying loop of trial, error, and mastery. The visuals are clean and minimalist, letting the geometry and light play off the mirrors in a way that feels almost sculptural. Sound design complements the visual simplicity, with subtle echoes that hint at the space's true shape. What might trip some players is the learning curve. The snap zoom is a brilliant tool, but mastering the timing and precision of mid-air redirects can feel a bit unforgiving. However, once you get the hang of it, the sense of discovery is immense. Overall, The Art of Reflection is a polished, cerebral experience that rewards curiosity and a willingness to bend reality, perfect for players who love puzzles that challenge both mind and physics. Imagine your computer has gone haywire and the only thing left to fight back is the cursor. In Identifile, Desktop Dungeon, the developer turns the mundane file system into a frantic bullet hell dungeon crawl, and the result is a surprisingly addictive roguelike. From the moment you launch, you're thrust into a procedurally generated labyrinth of folders and files. Each folder is a level, each file a potential treasure or trap. The game rewards curiosity. Sift through documents to uncover powerful exe files that grant new abilities, and keep an eye out for that virus database that lets you log every nasty bite you've slain. What sets this title apart is its cast of over 12 cursors, each with a distinct playstyle. Whether you prefer a quick, agile pointer that dodges malware or a heavy, charging cursor that blasts through hordes, there's a style for every player. And the variety of more than 30 viruses, plus shiny variants, keeps the enemy roster fresh and unpredictable. Boss fights at the end of each corrupted drive deliver a satisfying punch of challenge. Each one feels like a mini-boss battle in a classic arcade shooter, but with the stakes of saving your entire system. The loot system, with over 100 randomized drops and dozens of unique EXEs, keeps the replay value high. If you're looking for a game that blends pixelated action, roguelike depth, and a tongue-in-cheek twist on your everyday PC, Identifile, Desktop Dungeon is a cursor-powered must-read. Project Motor Racing isn't just a racing game, it's a full-blown tribute to the sport's history and future. With 70 cars spanning everything from today's LMDH hypercars to legendary classics, every model feels like a licensed masterpiece. The circuits are scanned to pixel-perfect detail, giving you 13 classes and 28 tracks that look and feel like real racing venues. The physics engine is a game-changer. Built on the mod-friendly Giants Engine 10, it delivers handling that feels both realistic and thrilling, complete with high-fidelity force feedback that makes every turn feel alive. The factory driver program means each car's behavior has been vetted by brand partners and top pros, so you get authentic precision no other sim can match. Sound design is another highlight. The roar of the engines, the screech of tires, the subtle shift of G-forces, all captured with a fidelity that makes you feel like you're in the cockpit. Dynamic weather, adaptive racing lines, and a 24-hour day-night cycle add layers of strategy and immersion. Whether you're a seasoned sim racer or a newcomer, the single-player career and online modes offer depth and accessibility. With 4 class race packs, in-game events, and the Year 1 bundle that adds a Group 5 Revival Pack plus extra content, there's plenty to keep you engaged. Project Motor Racing sets a new benchmark for realism and excitement in the genre. If you want to taste the future of motorsport, this is the title to hit the road.
Tired
In Tormentor, you step into the shoes of a twisted architect of suffering, a man who's built a labyrinthine prison from the ruins of an ancient temple. The game's dark premise, managing a death sentence facility while battling a mental illness that erodes your sanity, sets it apart from the typical horror titles. Every corridor feels like a nightmare, designed to disorient both you and the victims you've locked inside. What really elevates Tormentor is its brutal customization system. You can create each prisoner's backstory, voice, and appearance, turning them into perfect, if horrific, performances for your dark audience. The dark web mechanic adds a layer of risk, forcing you to secure experimental drugs through an underground network to keep your mind clear. The tension spikes when you arm prisoners and let them hunt you, a deadly twist that keeps you on edge. The game isn't for the faint of heart, but if you crave a truly immersive, morally ambiguous horror experience, Tormentor delivers. Its combination of psychological depth, player agency, and unapologetic gore makes it a standout, though it will haunt you long after the credits roll.
Oh, this is art.
Wow, what a wild ride this one is. From the moment you launch, the hand-drawn world of Orca all bursts onto the screen with a riot of color and detail that feels like an animated comic brought to life. The action is relentless, a mashup of classic FPS and over-the-top cartoon chaos. You're in the shoes of Captain Wayne, a hot pink, cigar-huffing anti-hero who's lost an arm to a vampire whale and replaced it with a double-barreled shotgun. The arsenal is insane. Chain gun fingers, explosive boom brew, thunder punches, you name it. It's a weapon playground that keeps you guessing what'll come next. The game is split into 8 massive areas that feel like separate islands, each with its own brutal enemies and secrets. The campaign mode delivers a deep, story-driven experience with fully animated cutscenes that let you follow Wayne's descent into vengeance. And then there's Endless Mode, where you test how long you can survive the onslaught of mercenaries and killer whales. The soundtrack is a high-octane blend of aggression and chaos, perfectly syncing with the on-screen carnage. Every beat, every explosion feels like it's pushing you further into the mayhem. In short, if you want a cartoonish, over-the-top shooter that's as much about smashing enemies as it is about a ridiculous, charismatic protagonist, this game delivers every last blast.
How about a frickin' cannon, huh?
Of Seven Seas Adventures.
Seven Seas Adventures throws you into a living, breathing Caribbean. From day one, you're free to be a merchant, a pirate, or a hybrid. No class system ties you down. The world is a true sandbox. 37 ports, 100 characters, 9 historical factions, and a living economy that rewards careful trade or daring smuggling. You can build a fleet from a humble sloop to a towering ship of the line, arm them with custom ammo, and then step aboard for real-time naval battles where you steer, fire, and even board enemies. The combat system is deep but accessible, letting you auto-resolve or micromanage every cannon blast. Faction politics feel weighty, alliances, wars, and port sieges can shift the balance of power, and the game remembers your choices across sessions. Multiplayer is solid, with private and public servers that keep the world evolving. The biggest flaw is occasional pacing hiccups. The economy can feel grindy before you hit the high-stakes trade routes. Still, the freedom to chart your own course and the sheer scale of the world makes Seven Seas a standout sandbox for any naval enthusiast.
Trade fleet in the new world that evil.
Step into a pixel-perfect homage to the Terminator 2 universe, where Sarah, John, and the T-800 take on the T-1000 Skynet across a series of adrenaline-filled missions. The game blends iconic film scenes with fresh, original scenarios, giving you multiple endings that let you decide humanity's fate. Classic arcade gameplay feels true to the cabinets of the past, with crisp visuals and a soundtrack that reimagines the legendary score. Battle waves of Cyberdyne drones, take on brutal boss fights, and climb the high-score leaderboard. With modes from story and arcade to infinite and boss rush, there's a challenge for every playstyle. Whether you're shooting, sneaking, or leading the resistance into the future, this title delivers a nostalgic yet fresh take on the Terminator legacy.
As you step into the shoes of...
Welcome to the shadowed streets of Detective Instinct. Farewell, my beloved, where every alleyway whispers a clue and every character holds a secret. From the first frame, the game pulls you into a world that feels like a living noir novel. Classic Japanese adventure style blended with a hard-boiled crime vibe that's as gritty as it is cinematic. The core of the experience is the command select interface. It's simple, but it forces you to think. Talk to this person, examine that object, or investigate that corner. There's no brute force, just deduction and a healthy dose of curiosity. Every choice opens new paths, and the dialogue is a treasure trove of personality. Some lines are sweet, others cut like a razor. Visually, it's a mixed media masterpiece. 2D pixel portraits give characters depth, while pre-rendered 3D backgrounds bring the city to life. Traditional illustrations pop in the right moments, creating a unique aesthetic that feels both nostalgic and fresh. And the music? It's a lush, original score that shifts from jazzy streets to tense orchestral swells, with live instrument performances that elevate every scene. In short, Detective Instinct offers a compelling mystery, a well-crafted interface, and a world that feels alive. If you love classic adventure games, more storytelling, and a soundtrack that hits right in the gut, this is a title you won't want to miss. Hey folks, today we dive into Relic Abyss, an action-packed anomaly that blends Lovecraftian dread with medieval sci-fi flair, all wrapped in a surprisingly cute art style and a soundtrack that's pure banger. Picture a desolate world being swallowed by a dark abyss. Your mission? Preserve existence, gather a crew of up to 20 uniquely designed adventurers, and face primal evil head. The game throws you into a procedurally generated map with 6 distinct levels, each packed with unique encounters and a randomized perk system that keeps your builds fresh. You'll collect enemy cards, enchant gear, and forge relics that can turn the tide of battle. With over 134 character skills, including epic ultimates, you can craft a playstyle that's all your own. And don't forget the City Builder Hub, train your crew, upgrade your gear, and prepare for the next wave of otherworldly bosses. Soundtrack-wise, it's a masterpiece. Over an hour and 40 minutes of music, 5 unique tracks per level, all composed by Butch Dakinek. The theme Positive Depression perfectly mirrors the game's narrative, giving you an emotional roller coaster that never feels flat. Bottom line, Relic Abyss delivers a fast-paced, skill-heavy adventure with a charming aesthetic that masks a deep, strategic core. If you love action RPGs with a twist of cosmic horror and a dash of medieval tech, this is a game you'll want to dive into. Welcome to the world of the Gatekeepers, a game that pulls you into an ancient wilderness where prophecy, blood cults, and the threat of apocalypse loom. You're the last commander of the Order, rallying humans, dwarves, elvers, and Terrans into a ragtag army that must navigate a sprawling open world brimming with secrets and danger. What makes this title stand out is its tactical depth. Turn-based battles feel alive because morale, fatigue, line of sight, and even the light level on each tile can turn the tide. You can bend the battlefield to your will, build barricades, freeze rivers, light up dark corners, or unleash a one-time scroll to call down rain or poison. The environmental interaction is a breath of fresh air in a genre that often feels static. Randomized quests, cities, and even loot keep each playthrough fresh, and the ability to tweak hit chance, HP, and rewards means you can dial the challenge to your taste. The included unit and map editors let you craft and share your own campaigns, extending the life of the game far beyond the base story. If you're a fan of strategy who loves a bit of roguelike unpredictability and a world that feels truly alive, The Gatekeepers delivers a satisfying blend of story, depth, and replayability. It's not without its learning curve, but the payoff is worth the effort. Afalon throws you into a sprawling, handcrafted fantasy world that feels both fresh and familiar. The open-world design invites you to wander, hunt, and discover, but it's the blend of MORPG mechanics with true RPG depth that really sets it apart. You can build a character from a range of races and classes, each with unique skills that shape how you approach combat, whether you swing a sword, cast spells, or stay hidden in the shadows. Quests are never just filler. They ripple through the world, turning camps into bastions or opening secret paths. Dungeons are a joy, offering larger, boss-filled challenges that grow in difficulty as you level up. Shorter challenge stones pepper the map with survival waves, platforming trials, and timed puzzles, perfect for a quick adrenaline rush. Crafting is more than a side activity. It's the backbone of your progression. Scouring the world for herbs, ores, and rare materials lets you forge gear that's essential for tackling the tougher content. The dynamic, evolving environment keeps you on your toes as new enemies surface alongside familiar foes when you push your power higher. Overall, Afalon delivers a rich, immersive RPG experience that rewards exploration, strategic character building, and persistent world interaction. If you're looking for an expansive fantasy adventure that feels both expansive and intimately responsive, this is the game to check out. Welcome to the Ultimate Retro Salute. Today we are diving into the Last Ninja Collection Plus bonus games, a hand-picked anthology that bundles every classic from the 1980s and 90s into one tidy package for PC. It's more than a nostalgic trip, it's a celebration of the pioneers who set the bar for action-adventure and fighting games. First up, the trilogy that defined the genre, The Last Ninja, Last Ninja 2, and Last Ninja 3. Each title is a gem. The original throws you into a handcrafted world of isometric puzzles and fast-paced combat, with a soundtrack that still feels fresh. Last Ninja 2 takes that formula and throws it into the streets of New York, blending exploration with slick, atmospheric music. Then there's Last Ninja 3, the first computer game to snag a perfect 100% review score, delivering tighter gameplay and even more immersive visuals. The collection also features Ninja Remix, which refreshes the trilogy with updated graphics and new soundtracks, just enough polish to feel modern without losing that classic charm. Beyond the trilogy, the bonus titles are a testament to System 3's influence. International Karate, the first European game to top the C64 US charts, delivers tight karate combat that set the standard for the genre. Its sequel, IK Plus, expands on that with improved animations, a 3-player mode, and AI that still surprises. Then there's Bangkok Knights, a Muay Thai fighting game that inspired the first Street Fighter, with distinct characters and a vibrant setting that feels like a pulse-pounding martial arts movie. What makes this collection truly special is the preservation work behind it. Every game is faithfully emulated, with options for modern controls, making the old feel brand new. And the developers' dedication to keeping these classics alive means we can experience the roots of today's gaming. If you're a retro fan or just curious about how far the genre has come, this collection is a must-have. It's a living museum, a tribute to creativity, and a reminder that some of the best games were made with a handful of pixels and a big dream. Enjoy the ride.
Obvious to me as a game designer to try.
You open your eyes to nothing but darkness, and a single thread of light beckons you forward. The game thrusts you into an ever-shifting labyrinth where every step matters. Turn-based combat feels like a chess match. Enemies strike right after you, so plan each move like a living strategy. The erosion mechanic turns the clock into a ticking threat. One wrong step and the floor gives way. What really sets it apart is the on-the-spot forging system. Grab a scrap, mix it with a fragment, and the black sword you wield morphs into a brand new weapon with a unique skill. Overkill? No, it gives you endless ways to play, and each weapon carries its own soul-boosting upgrade. Japanese voice actresses bring the characters to life, and the 2D animations are crisp and dynamic. It's a hardcore challenge with a rich reward system, and if you love tactical depth, you'll find yourself fighting until the last boss. In short, it's a tough but utterly satisfying grind that deserves a spot on your Steam Deck. Welcome to the world of Viking Saga, a sprawling tale where you start as a simple warrior and can rise to become either a feared conqueror, a ruthless raider, or a noble defender. The game throws you into the thick of the Great Heathen Army's campaigns, letting you rewrite history from 849 to 867 AD. Its 3 battle systems, side-view melee, tactical sieges, and strategic field battles keep combat fresh, and the minigame adds a fun diversion. With over 300 story backgrounds, 200 gear options, and 16 distinct endings, replayability is massive. Every choice feels meaningful, shaping not just your clan, but entire kingdoms. Visuals capture the gritty Viking life and Anglo-Saxon landscapes with impressive detail, while the soundtrack grounds you in the era. The only real hiccup is a few pacing hiccups in the later quests, but the depth of narrative and the weight of decisions more than compensate. If you love history-driven RPGs that let you carve your own legend, this game delivers a powerful, immersive experience. Picture a neon-lit lounge, a robbery in progress, and 4 dazzling divas ready to fight back. Dancing Divas throws you into classic side-scroller action that feels like a love letter to Streets of Rage and The Simpsons arcade. Pick Viva, Hina, Bahati, or Sophia and you'll master a mix of lightning-fast strikes, fiery long-range attacks, suplex-style earthshakers, and wind-like agility. The game doesn't stop at the brawls, breakboards, race speedboats, and test your skills in a handful of mini-games that keep the adrenaline high. Over 16 global levels, dozens of combos, and a vibrant in-game shop let you replay in endless variations. The soundtrack is a playful MIDI banger that never lets the action lull. The only downside? The minigames can feel like a detour if you're only after the beat-em-up. Still, Dancing Divas delivers a punchy, colorful arcade experience that's perfect for a quick, chaotic night of fighting and fun. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the rundown. If you liked what you saw, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe so you won't miss any of the next updates. See you next time.